Welcome everyone to the 8th round of the TFL Season 5 Championship. We are live from Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan, as we are more than halfway past the 5th season already. As we have 17 and a half minutes left on the clock, you may notice, it's one full qualifying session. It's not Q1, Q2 and Q3 as we normally have here in TFL, but it is one qualifying session because we only have 15 participants here today, as the Ferrari is the first one to head on to the track. It's the Ferrari of Barrel, who's now heading onto the track. More cars are now onto the track, and the two McLarens of Jerry van Bussel and Mika are also out. Let's start on some telemetry and lap data to guide us through this qualifying session. And let's look at the standings for a few seconds as we wait the standings to appear on my screen. And it's Barro who is leading the championship, 110 points in total in the Ferrari. He was the first one out on track and he is ready to defend his championship lead. Then it's TF Davy in second position in the Mercedes. Ferrari versus Mercedes at the top of the championship. He has 90 points and is 20 points behind Barro. So if Davy doesn't win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, then he has no chance of catching Barrel, and Barrel will remain in the lead of the championship. That is only if Barrel doesn't score any points himself, and I'm sure he will. He'll be looking forward to extending his championship gap as we will go on board with the Ferrari driver. Very long straight on Baku, and we have seen some very intense battles here at this straight. Remember Max Verstappen versus Daniel Ricciardo in 2018, and that wasn't a happy ending at all. Daniel Ricciardo in 2017 making triple overtakes on that straight as well. DRS now open for Barrel as he is on that second straight, where at the start of the 2018 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, we saw Esteban Ocon and Kimi Räikkönen collide here at turn 3. And that immediately brought out the safety car. 14 and a half minutes left for this qualifying session. Most drivers now out onto the track. Only Sven is still within the pit lane, as we see Barrel now head into the castle section. Very twisty sector and not a lot of room for side-by-side action there. Actually, the castle section is only wide enough to support around 3 Formula 1 cars. And that definitely is not good enough for a side-by-side battle between two drivers. And now we see Barrel coming across some drivers who are on their outlaps looking to start a lap. Yarizan, Barrel's teammate, is actually looking to give Barrel a slipstream here on the main straight. Yellow sector 1, sector 2. And that still isn't resolved. Let's turn on the full track map. Doesn't look like there is a big problem at all. As Jerry van Bussel now sets the fastest time in qualifying. Mika immediately beats that, as Barrel now is on provisional pole position. 138.364 for the Ferrari driver. Although next to cross the line, he's on a 38.8, 5 tenths down from provisional pole. Mitch on the medium tires sets a 39.2. Good time on those medium tires, has to be said. Then I think it's Kaya. Yeah, Kaya invalidated his previous lap. So he's now onto his second run on these set of tires. Look, who is the next driver to cross the line? It is Fruitful in the AlphaTauri who hits the wall. Hopefully for him, his front wing is still intact. And through this third sector he goes. And it's onto Lepauer, deploying all the ERS he has and opening the DRS in just a few seconds time to increase that speed up to the end of this main straight. At the moment he's on 200 miles per hour. As Fruitful goes in 7th fastest, slowest of any driver. Remember, Fruitful was the driver that took pole position here last time out. Frankie, meanwhile, went up to P3 ahead of Jerry van Bussel in the McLaren. Yagizan, Borrell's teammate, who is on provisional pole position, who gave Borrell that pole, that slipstream last time out, is now on his own hot lap, and he sets a time good enough for P4, 1:38.702. As his teammate now heads into the pit lane. Let's look behind. I think Sven is now out for his first hot lap. Yes, he is in the Red Bull, taking full advantage of the curb on the right hand side once again at the exit, and that is turn 1. Down towards turn 2, not hitting the curb on the inside to unsettle the car. Nice run through that second corner. DRS wide open towards turn 3 he now goes. All these 90-degree left and right hand corners of this first sector. Hits the curb a little bit on the inside and that unsettled his car. Not getting the best run through turn 4. Through the chicane he goes, almost losing the car, and now towards the castle section. Cutting a little bit of the track on the inside, which is allowed on this track. And finding his way through that castle section nicely. I think there's an Alpine behind. Someone's going slowly on the main straight. I think it's a Red Bull because he doesn't have enough fuel anymore. He's all his fuel for the hot lap, and that is the Red Bull of Frankie. So when avoiding that curb on the inside, choosing not to take it and not risk breaking a front wing, which we saw Fruitful do a few moments ago. Yellow sector 3 once again. Let's look at Yagizan, because I think Yagizan, yes, he is going slowly on this main straight because he doesn't have enough fuel anymore. Sven now coming across the line. Time is adding up, but he sets 38.8, good enough for P7. Mitch still within the top 10, who is going faster, mind you, on those mediums. But look at the ERS deployment. He does not have enough ERS left for this last part of the track, which means he loses a lot of time through this final straight. He goes P10, P9, mind you, sorry, with a 38.939, and that is a good lap time on those mediums, considering he only needs to find 6 tenths to go onto provisional pole by switching to a faster tire compound. So things are looking good for Mitch, and I think it's the first time we've seen Mitch in TFL. Now Janssen is on his hot lap in the Williams car. New striking livery for the team in 2022. Unsettles the car a little bit once again on those curbs in the first sector. That chicane, missing the curb on the inside as Noah Jones goes fastest overall, 38.287, 8/100ths of a second faster than Ball was previously. Oh, he hits the curb. Oh, he hits the wall. He hits the wall. He hit the curb on the inside and then hit the wall, Janssen. And I think that is his hot lap over. He's lucky he hasn't lost his wheel and he hasn't DNF'd from the session. Does he have damage though? Looking at the end plates on the front wing, it looks like they are still intact. And that is a very lucky escape from Janssen in the Williams car. But it does not look like he has the downforce he needs to find his way through that third sector without any problem whatsoever. Now going to cross the line. Will it be within the 139s? Yes, it will. It will be a 139.2. Lost a lot of time in that second sector at the castle section. As Davy, if Janso was on a hot lap there, Davy definitely would have blocked him. Luckily for Davy, Jansen was not on a hot lap. Who is on a hot lap though is Frankie. Frankie in P5, 38.689. He needs to find 4/10 of a second to go on to a provisional pole. 4 4/10 and 2 1/1000 of a second to be precise. As the Haas of Otto now goes third fastest, 38.421 on the softs. Noah Jones now into the pit lane, as he said his hot lap a few minutes ago. Most drivers now coming out of the pit lane are already on their hot laps. I think there's a McLaren now coming onto the straight. Is it Mika? Mika is going faster than he was previously. He goes on the provisional pole, 38.039, 2.5 tenths faster than Noah Jones in the Mercedes. Good lap from Mika. And Ono relegated down to P4. Fruitful improved his lap time and not good enough to find his way into the top 5. And he struggles at the moment, Fruitful. He was on provisional pole. Well, he was on pole position in Season 4. Can he do it again in Season 5? 6 minutes left in this qualifying session before we'll see who will take pole position for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, as we go on board with long-time championship leader Jerry van Bussel. He at the moment is in P3 in the championship, 24 points down from Bol. So he's in P3 in the McLaren and P8 on track. Oh, as he locks up, almost hits the wall on the right hand side there. Does not look like a tight lap from him up till now, as Jaizan went P2 behind Mika, 3 100s down. Yellow sector 3, and that is because of a slow moving Mika. He does not have enough fuel to go back to the pit lane on full speed. Can he find his way through this castle section here? Yes, he can. Can he go faster than he was previously, as he invalidates his lap? So his lap has been invalidated, and it does not look like he's going to improve anytime soon. Fruitful heading back into the pit lane. Davy is on a hot lap. Has he backed off? Yes, he has backed off. Looks like he's going for another run in just a few moments' time. Jerry is letting pass Davy here. His championship rival. 4 points separating them at the top of the championship. With Ball in P1. Gaia is not improving. Yagizan is improving, I think. Is he improving? No, he's not improving. He's 5.7 seconds down from his time set previously. And it looks like all the drivers are back into the pit lane, with the exception of Noah Jones. Will go on board with the Mercedes driver, as he probably goes out for his final hot lap here. Just a few minutes left on the clock as we get ready for 26 laps around the Azerbaijan street circuit. Nice turn one from the Mercedes driver. He needs to find 2.5 tenths on this lap. Can he do that? Can Noah Jones stick it on pole for round 8 here at Baku? Braking around, almost losing the rear. Braking around 70 meters, and he immediately aborts his lap. 3.5 minutes left on the clock, mind you. So everyone that is going for their outlaps now are going for their final runs. And Noah Jones will go for another run when he crosses the start finish line once again. 2 minutes 30 seconds. Just a little bit of a recap. Mika is currently on provisional pole. Mika is on pole with Yagizan behind the Turkish driver now coming out of the pit lane. Kaya in third position with Frankie in P4. It's a TF 1, 2, 3, 4. Will it remain that way? For the last few minutes of this session, Noah Jones getting ready to start his final hot lap. And everyone else on their outlap except for Davey. Davey is still in the pit lane, and I think he's exiting the pit lane now, as Noah Jones is starting his final hot lap. Yes, Davey is on his outlap, and everyone is now out on track trying to improve, as Davey now gives a slipstream to Noah Jones. That is something that Noah Jones dearly likes to see. And hopefully for Noah Jones that helps him out in the long run. Oh, he hits the wall. Is his front wing damaged? It doesn't look like it. Oh, but he hit the wall. Was that due to the speed difference he did not account for by Davey giving him a slipstream? He's still on his way though, and trying to improve his lap time. Through the castle section he goes, almost hitting the wall, absolutely maximizing those corners. And now out of the castle section he goes. 50 seconds left in this session, as the final drivers at the end of sector 2 are lining up to start their hot lap. The McLaren in front weaving, Jerry van Bussel weaving the temperature into his tires. Noah Jones is 3.5 times faster than he was before. This looks like this is going to be the provisional pole position run for the Mercedes driver of Noah Jones. Let's go on board with Noah Jones 08 as he now opens the DRS. He's in P5 at the moment. Can he go onto the front row or even pole position? It is pole position for now for Noah Jones. 37.873. Okay, so a few more drivers going for their hot laps. Mika is going for his hot lap now. He's aided by the slipstream given it to him by Borrell as he goes provisional pole position. 37.763. Borrell also finished his lap, and is P6 our championship leader. Only P6 on the grid. He aided Mika massively by giving him that slipstream. And I question if he realized that Mika was behind even. Now the Red Bull of Sven coming across the line. Sven, where can he go? He goes P2 onto the front row, the Red Bull driver. Great lap by Sven. Next driver is Janssen in the Williams. Where can Janssen go? It's only P9 for Janssen. Then the AlphaTauri of Mitch. Mitch goes P10. Looked promising, wasn't in the end. Fruitful goes P4. Good effort by the other AlphaTauri driver. Then it's Ono behind, 1.5 times faster than his previous lap, and goes P8. And then the Alpine driver of Kaya. Kaya crossing the line. It's P6 only for Kaya. 2 temps improvement. Now Yagizan improving by 4/100ths of a second. Where can he go? He goes P5. Does not improve his position. Next driver out on track is Frankie. Frankie goes P5 behind Fruitful. Davey. Next driver to cross the line, and behind him it's Jerry van Bussel. Davey slows down. Wants free tire choice, it seems, as Jerry van Bussel goes P10, just into the top 10, and has to start on those softs. Janssen, Mitch and Davey have free tire choice, as of Charles and Joey. Noah Jones, is he improving? No, he's not. So pole position for TF Mika, and then it's Sven in P2, 1 temp slower than Mika in the McLaren. Noah Jones settling in front of some of the TF guys that were there previously. Good job by Noah Jones, and fruitful as well. It's not the pole position that he achieved last time out here in Baku, but it is P4, and I feel like he's happy with that. And it is something to work from. As we wait for the session to end, but it is Mika on pole position. As the session has ended, we are waiting to go to the timing screens. So it's Mika on pole position, Sven in second position, then it's Noah Jones lining up on the second row of the grid in front of Fruitful, Frankie, Yagizan, Kaya, Onno, Bol and Jerry van Bussel in P10. Having a free tire choice for the start of the Grand Prix, Janssen, Mitch, Davey, Charles and Joey in P15. Joey, out of respect for the Ukrainian people, using the Ukrainian flag here in this session. And that is just respect from Joey. As we wait for the Grand Prix to start, and there are overcast conditions at the moment. And people commenting on Mika's lap in the Discord that it was an outstanding lap, but don't forget he had slipstream from the Ferrari driver of Ball. The drivers now choosing their compound of tire to start the Grand Prix with, as well as deciding how much fuel they are going to take into their cars. 17 seconds left. In just a few moments time, the cars will start the formation lap. Mika will lead the field away from Sven. Yes, definitely overcast conditions. Let's look at the different tire choices everyone has gone with. Janssen starting on the hard compound in P11. And if it will rain this session, that is definitely the least favorable tire to be on. If it's raining sooner than around half distance in the race. Mitch on mediums, Davey on mediums, Charles on medium, and Joey on the soft compound, hoping to make up some positions right at the start. He's in the Alfa Romeo. Having the Alfa Romeo pit box all by himself at the moment. No other Alfa Romeo driver in this session. Mika making his way out of the castle section. Joey just entering it. 26 laps here around the Baku City circuit. Please comment in the comment section below. Do you expect a safety car on lap 1 around here? Because this circuit is known for causing a lot of chaotic races, and a safety car is definitely something that we should keep in our heads today, because it could pop up anywhere during the race. The smallest mistakes in the castle section can be fatal. Mika makes his way towards the grid. Joey and Charles going very slowly here at the back of the grid. Charles needs to get a move on. Yes, because this might have given him a penalty if he didn't go onto the power faster than he did. He leaves a lot of space between the cars in front of him, as does Davey. So that might come back to haunt him, but I expect nothing to come out of it. Joey is going to line up last on the grid, and when he is on the grid, the lights will go out for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And we go off board with Mika to look for the 5 lights to go on and to start the race here around the Baku city circuit. 2, 3, 4, 5 lights on now. And the lights are out. It's a good start for the Red Bull of Sven. Can he go into P1 immediately? Yes, he can. Mika has been relegated down to P2. He's on the outside line. Can he keep hold of P1? No, he can't. Sven into the lead of the Grand Prix. Mika relegated down to P2. Fruitful on the inside of the Mercedes of Noah Jones. Getting into P3 as a Ferrari of Yagizan has been spun round. Fruitful into podium positions, battling with Noah Jones. Mika trying to come back around the outside of Sven. Can he keep that position? No, he can't. Mika into P2. Fruitful has to give up P3 for now, and the Mercedes of Noah Jones back into P3. And it's Sven from Mika, from Noah Jones, from Fruitful, from Frankie. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here at Azerbaijan after the lights out. And that was an eventful start and a good start by the Red Bull driver of Sven, who went into the lead immediately. Good reaction time and good battling with Mika, and now he has to keep the McLaren behind. Yagizan spinning around now behind Joey. Joey going very slowly here through this castle section. That's the Williams of Janssen. He's momentarily ghosted. What is happening to the Williams? Oh, he doesn't have a front wing. So he probably crashed. Oh no! He's out of the race. Janssen is out. Is that a safety car already? No safety car as of yet. But Janssen is out of the Grand Prix after just a few miles of racing. Oh, Janssen going too fast without a front wing to those multi-apex left-handers. And that meant that he had no choice after he took too much speed. And he just had to hit that wall. Mitch into the pit lane on those mediums is going for a tire change now, and is he replacing his front wing as well? Yes, they are replacing his front wing. So Mitch into the pit lane. Fruitful couldn't keep hold of that third position, but he is on the back of Noah Jones still, and Frankie on the back of Fruitful. Barlow championship leader in a Ferrari would still be leading the championship if things finish like they are now. Davey, his immediate rival in the championship, because Davey is in P2, is now currently running in 9th position, so he's scoring less points than Barl is. Same can be said for Jerry. Jerry is in P10 at P3 in the championship. Noah Jones losing a bit of ground to Mika and Sven. Hopefully he can keep the pace up, because in a few moments time the DRS will be enabled, and that will give us some more action throughout the race. And it would be a painful moment for some drivers to lose the DRS to the drivers in front of them, because that will aid them in defending from behind. Frankie, speaking about defending and attacking, is going to attack Fruitful. Fruitful defending the inside line towards turn 1. Fastest lap of the race for the Red Bull driver, and Fruitful defends quite well into turn 1. Holds P4 for now. Mitch in P14. Yagizan got past Joey. Joey 5 seconds now behind the Ferrari driver Yagizan. Is Mika going to attack the Red Bull? No, he is not. The Red Bull driver is still keeping hold of that P1. It can be very difficult to keep hold of P1 at this track, as Ono and Davy are battling. Davy turning in on Ono. Oh, and he is now down in P12. An incident between Davy and Ono sees Ono now down in P12 in the Haas. Okay, so Davy is now up into P12, heading into the castle section. Did Ono go for a gap that did not exist, or did Davy just turn in on Ono? As Yagizan got past Schral in a rather unconventional position. At the castle section, mind you, we missed that overtake on track, but it did happen. As Charles once again seems to not have the pace to keep up with the field, but he is on the mediums, as is Davy, and Davy is now attacking the championship leader, his direct competitor, Burrell. Davy behind Burrell. Burrell does have the DRS from the car in front. Davy does have the DRS from Burrell. Is he going for a move into turn 1? Mika sets the fast lap of the race, and with that takes the lead away from Sven. Sven has been overtaken going into turn 1, but let's go back on board with Davy, because I don't think Sven can come back at Mika. We'll keep an eye on the gaps on the top left hand side of your screen. Fruitful and Frankie are battling. Frankie makes his way past Fruitful. Davy makes his way past the Ferrari of Burrell on those mediums. Good effort by Davy. Noah Jones, Sven and Mika closer than they've ever been before, but now Mika once again in the lead of the race. But can he keep that lead throughout these remaining 22 laps of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix? No penalty so far. And 5 tenths the gap between Mika and Sven. 2.5 tenths the gap between Noah Jones and Sven. Frankie 1 second down from Noah Jones, doesn't have the DRS currently, is on that bubble of DRS, as Fruitful certainly does get the DRS. Now Frankie within 8 tenths, and if he stays within those 8 tenths, 9 tenths that he is now, he will get the DRS for the main straight. Oh, Frankie losing his car. I think he lost the DRS. Does he have problems? I think. Hopefully we'll see a change of camera. No, we won't. But let's go on board with Fruitful. Kaya overtook him, and now Kaya overtakes Frankie. To double move from Kaya on the main straight. Mika and Sven battling as well. Noah Jones in that battle as well. Sven now can make the move on Mika once again. Mika with a bad exit. Sven with a rather good exit, but Mika is using his ERS to defend going into turn 1. Can Sven go for the dive into turn 3? No, he can't. Davy now right behind Fruitful, as Charles makes is still battling with Yagizan. Wanting to get past the Turkish driver, but can't as of yes. Frankie making a mistake. Fruitful getting past. Davy getting past. Does Frankie have a problem with his front wing? That does not look like the front wing of Frankie is broken, but he might still have small bits of carbon fiber broken off from his front wing, as Mika now 1 second gap at the front of the field. Mika is pushing all the ERS he has to not give any DRS whatsoever to Sven in the Red Bull behind. The gap at 1.1, and that is good for Mika in the McLaren, as now Sven does not have the DRS and is almost defenseless against Noah Jones in the Mercedes. Let's look at this battle, because I think this will be the moment Sven will be relegated down one more position if he doesn't use any ERS to defend his second position. Noah Jones, can he go for that move? I think the gap is just a little bit too big. Kaya going into the pit lane, as well as Frankie and Jerry van Bussel, all changing to the medium compound, it seems. A very early stop from them. Kaya onto the mediums, Frankie onto the mediums, Jerry onto those medium tires. Now Noah Jones once again going for the move on Sven. Can he make that move work? No, he can't. He remains behind the Red Bull driver for now. Noah Jones is the leading Mercedes, but not too far behind is Davey, his teammates in the fellow Mercedes on the mediums. That is an absolutely stunning drive by Davey up to this point in the race. He's the lead medium runner and is behind the lead soft runners. Making his way through the castle section without any problem whatsoever. Sven losing the rear momentarily of his car, but is within range of Mika once again. Can get the DRS of the McLaren. Is Mika under pressure here, or is he just waiting to use that ERS at a different point in time? The gap now at 7.5 tenths. That means Sven is getting the DRS of Mika in the McLaren. Sven back in the game with more DRS to deploy after he closed down the gap on the McLaren driver. Joey and Frankie battling. Joey has been overtaken by the fellow Red Bull driver as more people head into the pit lane. Sven heads into the pit lane, as is Mika. Fruitful with a 5-second time penalty. Oh no! Sped going into the pit lane. But it's a Mercedes 1-2 and a Ferrari 3-4 at the moment. The same results we had for the 1-2 after testing. Remember, testing finished today. And it is Mercedes 1-2 after testing. Remember, that doesn't tell you much. Davey went into the lead of the race as well. We missed that on screen, but Davey is in the lead of the race. Arno switching to the hard compound. So instead of opting to go for the mediums, he has gone to the hards. Doesn't think that the mediums will hold on until the end of the race. No safety car as of yet. We have seen one driver retire from this race, and that was Luc Janssen in P15. Still a few drivers who haven't pitted as of yet. Davey is one of them on those mediums. Then there's Noah Jones, Bo, Yagizan and Charles, who all haven't pitted. Charles, have to correct myself. Charles is keeping up very nicely with the Ferrari. After Yagizan actually made contact at the opening lap and was spun around after turn 2. He's now battling with the Aston Martin of Charles, and it looks like Charles might be able to go for a move here. If Yagizan doesn't go into the pit lane himself, I think he'll head into the pit lane. No, he does not head into the pit lane. So actually, Charles making an overtake on track. Good job by Charles, as Davey now leads the race in P1. Kaya sets the fastest lap of the race, and Kaya is the driver that Davey needs to worry about, because Kaya is leading the race of the drivers that have made their pit stops. Mika actually falling back very much. Mika more than 2 seconds behind Kaya is what is happening behind. Noah Jones has overtaken Jerry van Bussel on track. Jerry, can he come back at the Mercedes driver? No, he can't. He remains behind. There was a yellow flag momentarily, but it has been resolved immediately. I think Yagizan has to stop sooner than later, because his soft tires are definitely not getting any better whatsoever. Charles is just extending the gap from the Ferrari driver, 1.5 seconds now. Or has Yagizan made a mistake somewhere? Kaya, on his new medium tires, is catching up with Yagizan massively. 1.6 seconds behind, 1.5 seconds behind, 1.3. He's gaining by the temps through every corner he goes. He might even get the DRS at the main straight. Yes, he does get the DRS off of the main straight. Now, purple sector 2 Can he go for the move on the Turkish driver here at the main straight? The Baku City Circuit. It looks like Yagizan is going into the pit lane, which is a good choice because those soft tires are absolutely dead at the moment. Kaya now into P3, sets the fastest lap of the race as well, 140.690, and sets his way to go for a move on Charles in the Aston Martin. Sven behind Mika still, after Mika overtook Sven on the track a few laps ago. These guys have been on it from the get-go. It looks like it will remain the same throughout the rest of the race. We almost 10 laps in here at Baku. Sven has a purple sector 1 according to the minimap. Kaya catching up to Charles in this middle sector. I think he'll catch up at the right point on the track, namely at the end of sector 2, which allows him to get 1, the DRS, and 2, gain a lot of time on that straight with that DRS. The gap at 1.2. Remember, Charles actually very strong here around Baku. Took a podium in the opening race of the season at Bahrain. Kaya now does get the DRS. Charles actually was one of the faster guys around here 2 or 3 games ago, but now we are on F1 2021 and he's MP2 without having made a pit stop, and Kaya is gaining massively on Charles now. So he'll have to worry about Kaya behind. Kaya over-revving his car. Now will deploy the ERS he has to make a move on Charles. Charles is not using any ERS whatsoever, and I think Kaya is going for the move. Yes, he is going for the move. Kaya all Charles in the Aston Martin. Kaya up into P2 and now catching up with Davey. 8.9 seconds the gap. Remember, Davey hasn't made a pit stop as well. Fruitful, the only driver with a time penalty. Noah Jones very close to Jerry, and Barrel close to Noah Jones. Oh, has there been a mistake from Jerry? Jerry is under pressure for sure. As Fruitful once again gets a 3-second time penalty. No. I think that was at the exit of the castle section. Frankie also gets a time penalty. Now Jerry is definitely under pressure and might be overtaken by 2 cars here at the end of the straight. Jerry van Bussel almost going into the wall, but keeps it out of the barrier. Now Noah Jones and Barrel do get the DRS off of Jerry van Bussel. And looking at Barrel, he's trying to go for a move on both of these drivers, and he makes a move on Noah Jones, and he makes a move on Jerry van Bussel. Great job by Barrel, who's now into P7. Noah Jones also passed Jerry van Bussel. Jerry now a bit relieved of his pressure. Oh, going into the wall. Is his front wing still intact as Mika made his way past Charles? Mika obviously has the faster compound on, with the tire wear on the car of Charles. Does not look like Jerry van Bussel has any damage whatsoever. Mitch had a promising race, is now in P13, 28 seconds behind. And Joey behind him, 4.4 seconds. It looked promising for a Mitch, but in the end, he's falling down the order more and more. As Sven made his way past Charles as well. Oh no! Oh, that was an incident involving Sven. and Charles. Fruitful making his way past Charles as well. Oh, I think Sven does have damage. Does not look like he has damage, but certainly has damage. Went into the wall. And I think his front wing took some damage from that incident. Now, Fruitful does get the DRS and is past the Red Bull driver and trying to block off Charles as well. Good move by Fruitful. He's now back into P4. Sven trying to make a move on the Aston Martin. Looks like he did not get as much damage as you may have expected from that sort of crash. As now Charles and Fruitful making contact. Oh, Charles now reversing on the track. And that was a moment between Fruitful and Charles. I don't know if that was the mistake of Charles or the fault of Fruitful. More investigation has to go into that incident to find out who was at fault there. Now Sven 2 tenths behind Fruitful, and he's losing time through this castle section. Is that because he can't use the downforce that he normally should have because of front wing damage, or is he just taking less risks in that castle section because he's keeping up pretty well after that section? Sven also crossing the white line on the exit of the second sector. Looking behind Frankie and Charles. Also really close on track. Frankie is trying to make the move on Charles. I think Charles has front wing damage. And this will be an easy overtake by the Red Bull driver after the DRS gets activated. And it is an easy overtake. Even without the ERS. Because looking at the ERS levels on Frankie's Red Bull, he's around 10%. But he has overtaken Charles. Sven still remains behind Fruitful. Fruitful having 8 seconds, I think, worth of penalties. Yes, he has 8 seconds worth of penalties, hopefully for him. Some of those penalties can still be removed. But he's running in P4 for now. We are halfway into the race. Just a little over halfway over this yellow sector 1. And that is Mitch. He made a mistake out of turn 1. No safety car and no DNF for Mitch yet. But Joey is looking to make his first overtake in this race on Mitch. Does Mitch have any damage whatsoever? Let's look. Turn in to turn 3. Does look like Mitch's front wing is still intact. Joey is looking for more points after he gained some in France. Noah Jones now on Sven. Sven on the main straight ahead of Noah Jones. Yellow sector 2. That was very momentarily, as now Sven has been overtaken by Noah Jones. Noah Jones going after Fruitful next. Sven somewhere made a mistake because he was right on the rear of the AlphaTauri driver. Oh, what was that? Someone made a mistake. Frankie makes a huge mistake in the Red Bull, and he has lost his right front end plate. Burrell and Sven also battling. Does Sven have damage? Looking onto the front wing. No, there is no damage. So from running in P1, he's now down in P7, Sven. Looking at Davy and Kaya, the gap between these drivers is now 4.3 seconds. 4.4 seconds momentarily. Burrell getting a 3-second time penalty as well. Frankie losing even more positions. Davy still has to make his pit stop. I expect him to come in around lap 18 and 19. So there are 4 more laps for Davy. And now Noah Jones on the rear of Fruitful. Oh, Mitch has retired in the pit lane. His race is over, and there are only 13 runners left in this session. Fruitful has to defend against Noah Jones. Noah Jones doesn't have a lot of ERS left. Can he make a move on the AlphaTauri now? I don't think he can. Now he goes off the power before entering turn 1, Noah Jones. As Jerry and Sven are battling for P7 in the race. Oh, Sven once again hitting the barrier. Can Jerry get a good exit? Yes, he can. Sven going for that inside line, but it is useless to defend against Jerry van Bussel, who moves his way past Sven. Into P7 he goes. And the gap of the front of the field, 3.4. Kaya gaining by a full second that lap. Sven relegated down 1 more position, now in P8. Mitch has left the session. Oh, as the Alpine of Kaya is trying so hard to gain on Davy that he almost lost his car. But remember, Kaya is under pressure from Mika. So the virtual race leaders here are going to battle for the virtual lead in the race. The gap 6 tenths between Kaya and Mika. As we head into the final 10 laps of this race in just a few moments time. Davy continues his way. Mika now trying to go for a move on Kaya. Mika trying to go for a move on Kaya. Mika moving his way past Kaya. And Mika is now in the provisional lead of this Grand Prix. But this is not over and done, because Kaya now does have the DRS to go for a move on Mika once again. He is gaining and gaining. He's not using the ERS and remains behind the McLaren. So Mika gaining 1 more position and now trying to catch up to Davy. Mika, remember, was in the lead of the race from the get-go, but immediately got overtaken by Sven, who's now down in P8. Mika is trying to get that lead back on track. A few penalties have been handed out, namely to Frankie, Borrell, Noah Jones and Fruitful, as Mika did the same there as Kaya did a few laps ago. Mika hitting the wall, where a lot of drivers in real life have hit the wall as well. Giovinazzi, Lance Stroll, to name a few. .7 seconds the gap between Mika and Davy. Davy, is he going into the pit lane? I think he is going into the pit lane now. Yes, he is. Davy not opting to be overtaken on track, but instead going into the pit lane to change for a set of soft compound tires. Mika and Kaya now battling on track for the lead of the race. As Joey is almost about to be lapped. He gets the blue flags in just a few moments time. Kaya on 30% of ERS, Mika on 20% of ERS, as Noah Jones and Fruitful are battling. Oh no! Fruitful hit Noah Jones there for a second and allowed Ball to get past. Ball now back into P4, Fruitful into P5, does not have damage, it appears. But momentarily was in the podium positions. This group of cars have been battling for a long time in this race, and there it was a very important moment for these 3 drivers, because they almost made contact with one another. Joey has been lapped by Mika and Kaya. There are 9 laps left in this race. Yellow sector 2. Oh, that's an Alfa Romeo. Is Joey letting past every driver who is on the lead lap? Davey making up some positions. Davey has overtaken Yagizan now and is aiming to go a few more positions higher. He's in P8 now. Yagizan in P9 in the Ferrari. Is Yagizan going into the pit lane? No, he is not. He's gaining on Davey massively, but remains behind the Mercedes. No chance of fighting Davey now, because Davey is on those softs and is a lot faster. Charles heading into the pit lane, and he will change to a set of soft compound tires here, and for a new front wing into the pit lane. Kaya and Mika, 4 temps separating them. Remember, Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas in 2019. In the last few laps of the race, also really close on track. Valtteri Bottas in the end held back Lewis Hamilton to claim his first win around the Baku City circuit. Bit of a trivia question. In lap 1 of the 2017 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Valtteri Bottas and Kimi Raikkonen, the 2 Finns on the grid at that time, hit each other. And that meant that Bottas was relegated down to the back of the grid in P20, had to change his tires because he had punctures on at least one tire. Where did he end up in the end? On which position did he finish the race? Comment in the comment section. Where do you think Valtteri Bottas finished in 2017 after coming from P20 after the first lap? So comment that in the comment section down below. Where did Valtteri Bottas finish the 2017 Azerbaijan Grand Prix? We are on lap 19 of 26. The race has flown by, as Davey now makes his way past Sven as well. Davey does not have a lot of ERS left, but he has the advantage of the soft tires, and that might prove crucial here. Davey now coming within striking distance of Jerry van Bussel. And P1 and P2 in the championship a few races ago, now P2 and P3 are battling it out on track. Davey is in front in the championship standings. Jerry in P3, Davey in P2. But can Davey now move his way past the McLaren on track as well here in Azerbaijan? We have 9 people watching the race at the moment. Please comment down below, who do you think is going to win the race? And also, where did Valtteri Bottas finish the race in 2017? Yellow sector 2. That is the Aston Martin of Charles. He made a mistake somewhere. He making his way past Jerry van Bussel. And also, Yagizan moving his way past the Red Bull of Sven now. Sector 2 once again ends the Red Bull. Red Bull of Frankie. Will this result in a safety car? It is a safety car. In lap 19 of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, there is a safety car out on track. And this might prove crucial here for a lot of drivers. Because this safety car... Oh, it's Joey. No! Drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. But as we said, safety car, this might prove crucial for a lot of drivers here. Will they stay out or will they go into the pit lane? I expect Fruitful at least to go into the pit lane because he has a 5-second time penalty to get rid of there. And that only remains him with 3 seconds worth of time penalties. He also has the old mediums to get rid of. Let's look at the rest of the grid. Which tires are they running? And everyone except of Davey, Ono and Charles and Joey are running the mediums. Ono wants to get rid of those hards as fast as possible as well, I think. Kaya and Mika, what will they do? Lap 20 in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and we have a safety car out on track. Mika is heading into the pit lane, and so is Kaya. Borrell, what will he do? Will he stay out on track? No, he won't. He will go into the pit lane, as will Noah Jones, Fruitful. Davey, obviously, will continue on. No, he won't. He will head into the pit lane for new softs. I think everyone will head into the pit lane for a sprint race here. In the end, Sven, yeah, obviously had some damage, hit the wall multiple times, and now has a new front wing to use to make up a few positions here at the end of the Grand Prix. Mitch is disappointed. He knew there was a lot more in this race, but instead it is a DNF from MITCH. Runners in this race, all drivers having new tires. Joey, out of all compounds, chose the mediums. Why? I might ask. Why? That's not a smart decision, but okay, we'll head on to the front of the field. Surely the safety car will stay out for one more lap, and then we'll have a sprint race until the end of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. A few drivers here having time penalties. Borrell, Noah Jones and Fruitful. Did Fruitful get rid of his penalty here? I think he did. Yes, he only has 3 seconds left now. I think Joey chose those mediums because he still has that drive-through penalty. That still doesn't make any sense though. At least he's lapped and he does not get anything out of pitting for softs. Maybe getting the fastest lap of the race. But I don't see that happening for Joey. But he can prove me wrong. He might prove me wrong. Joey, also looking at his helmet, it's a tribute helmet. Yellow and blue helmets. And you, as a viewer, might guess why he is using that helmet now. Okay, one more lap behind that safety car as we predicted. Lap 22 out of 26, just a few more laps left here around Baku. When the safety car is in, we'll start lap 23 in this race. With 4 more laps after the safety car is into the pit lane. And that is a sprint race to the end of the Grand Prix. Well, you had some time to think about it. Valtteri Bottas, where did he finish in 2017? It was actually in P2. Valtteri Bottas finishing in P2 in the 2017 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. After the first lap, he was down in P20. And on the line, actually making up one more position on Lance Stroll. He got his maiden podium here in Baku. Second trivia question, as we are on a roll. Where did Lance Stroll get his second podium in Formula 1? His first podium was in 2017, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, as we said just a few moments ago. But where did he get his second podium? Trivia question for you. Comment down in the comment section. Where did Lance Stroll get his second podium in Formula 1? Okay, in a few moments time we will get the message that the safety car will come in this lap, and there you go, the message, a safety car in this lap, now on the top hand of your screen. As Mika is warming up his soft tires, we are getting ready for a sprint race here around the Baku city circuit. It is Mika in P1, Kaya in P2, Bal in P3, then Noah Jones in P4. And when is Mika going onto the power? His Papaya orange McLaren is weaving on the straight. And is getting ready to start the race, and he is on the way. The race is back on the way, and Mika gets a perfect start. Kaya remains in P2, and the Ferrari Ball remains in P3. Noah Jones and Fruitful in P4 and 5 respectively, but Jagizan lost position to Jerry van Bussel at that restart. The McLaren of Jerry van Bussel making up one more position, going for a good point scoring here in Baku. Davy now under pressure from Jerry. Can Jerry make the move on the Mercedes driver? No, he can't. He remains behind Davy now. And this is now more of a fair fight than it was before, with Davy with those fresh softs and Jerry with those old mediums. We now have both drivers on fresh softs. Davy struggling, it seems, with those softs. Jerry absolutely on it, as he almost lost the rear of his car there. No driver making a huge error in that castle section as of yet. Sven is pushing the ERS to go for an overtake on Jagizan, but he remains behind the Ferrari for now. Davy making a mistake. Jerry go for a move here. He is looking pretty racy here, the Papaya Orange McLaren, and he is using the ERS to attack Davy. Can he go for a move here at the main straight using the ERS, and now alongside Davy, championship rivals in P2 and P3. Jerry is pushing all the ERS that he has, but so is Davy, and now Jerry has used all of his ERS that he could this lap. Davy remains in front. Oh, and almost hit the rear of the AlphaTauri. And now Jerry is trying to go for a move once again, but remains behind the Mercedes for now. What racing are we seeing here? This is amazing to see. 3 more laps left in this race. Fruitful on the rear of your Noah Jones, going for the move of Noah Jones. Good move by Fruitful. Noah Jones now on the outside. And oh, it comes to a collision. Collision between Noah Jones and Fruitful there. I think Noah Jones had to give up on that fight, but he didn't. And it came to a collision between Fruitful and Noah Jones. That might be looked into by the stewards afterwards. And that leaves Davy and Noah Jones 2 positions higher than they were a few seconds before. Hopefully for them, they haven't got any damage out of that battling by these cars. Noah Jones and Fruitful still behind one another now. Fruitful behind Noah Jones. That might definitely be looked into. 2 laps left when Mika crosses the line. Yellow sector 2, and that is Joey. Joey has spun around at the end of the castle section. Sven now trying to go for a move on Fruitful. Fruitful defending. Sven hitting the rear of the AlphaTauri. Mika setting the fastest lap of the race. And Fruitful overtaken by Sven now. And this sprint race has proven very costly for Noah Jones and for Fruitful. Sven now looking to make up some more positions on Noah Jones and Jerry van Bussel. Jerry nicely taking advantage of those moves made in front of him. Davy now on a charge to get Borrell as well. Now Noah Jones and Jerry are battling. Noah Jones going for a move on Jerry. Jerry relegated down to P6. Lap 25 out of 26. And Mika might still lose out on that win if Kaya is deploying all of his ERS at the end of the race, when he has a DRS as well. But we will keep close eye on these two drivers. They have been on it this entire race. Both exceeding expectations. Has Sven made a mistake? I think Sven made a mistake. Ono now going for a move on Sven as well. Sven relegated down to P10. The final lap of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix will start in just a few moments time. Now Kaya does have the DRS off of Mika. He does have 0 ERS though. Mika having 9% of ERS, so both drivers shy on ERS. Yagizan and Fruitful battling it out on the main straight. Fruitful has been overtaken by the Turkish driver as well. And now Ono and Sven are looking to make a move on Fruitful in just a few moments time. But we will see what will happen in this final lap here around the Baku City Circuit. It has been a fantastic race to look. Oh, Fruitful outbraking himself, losing a lot of positions. Oh, making contact with Sven as well. And this is not the ending of the Grand Prix that we would have liked to see. Charles involved in that as well. Fruitful outbraking himself, and Sven an unlucky bystander in that. Could have made up one more position on Fruitful, sorry, but did not manage to do so. Through the castle section for the final time here. And it looks like it is going Mika's way here. Mika in the papaya orange McLaren, 1.4 seconds ahead of Kaya into the final real corner of the track. And now onto the power for the final time in this race. Joey gets a 3-second time penalty. Kaya has given it his all to attack Mika, but it was useless. Mika held on to that lead through the entire race almost, and now wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from pole position to the finish. Mika wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Kaya in P2. Good effort by him, and Davy finishes at P3 in the Mercedes. Yagizan finishes in P4 in the end. Jerry van Bussel in P5, Borrell in P6, Ono in P7, Noah Jones in P8. P9 is for Sven. Charles in P10, Fruitful in P11, missing out on those final championship paying points. And we are waiting for Joey to cross the line. Let's invite Mika to the party for the interview. And we will only invite Mika to the party to give a little bit of a short story into his race. As we are waiting for Mika to join this party. Fastest lap as well from Mika. So pole position, fastest lap, and winning the race. It was an absolutely dominant performance by Mika. And a great job by him. It looked like Kaya had the upper hand, but Mika took full advantage of the safety car and wins here in Baku. So, winning the race, Mika, then it's Kaya, Davy, Yagizan, Jerry, Borrell, Ono, Noah, Sven and Charles finishing in P10. Fruitful finishing in P11 with P12 for Joey and DNFs for Frankie, Mitch and Janssen. We are still waiting for Mika to join this party for the interview. So don't leave the live stream as of yet. And there is Mika. Mika, congratulations on that victory, as it was an absolutely dominant performance by you, taking pole position and winning the race. Did it ever look in doubt for you?
Yeah, it's amazing. Perfect track, perfect conditions. Yeah, quali, great lap. I have a great slipstream from Borrell, and yeah, not a good start. And Sven takes P1, and then yeah, the softs are horrible. It was echt undrivable, that soft tire. Dus I switched in lap 7 to the medium tire. And then yeah, I have a great pace. Kaya had a great pace too, and yeah, then deployed the safety car, and yeah. Then,
because Kaya was in front right before the safety car?
No, I was in front. I have.
Oh yeah, you actually overtook him just before the safety car went into the pit lane, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So great race by you. And we are looking forward to the next race already in Belgium on the 4th of March. Do you have anything left to say here?
Yeah, horrible track.
Well, I want to congratulate you for an amazing victory here around Baku. And we will see you again next time out in Belgium. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.